don't know if it's the mom in me, but I cannot sit back and let people that I know and care about go hungry. Right now, we are in the middle of a government shutdown. The military is not getting paid. I'm blessed enough to be able to have a savings and have an emergency fund. But for some people, especially new people in the military, young people, not at a position where they are able to do that or where they have done that. I have a soldier right now, brand new to the military, been in barely a year, 18 years old, who didn't tell me, maybe because she's too proud, maybe she's nervous, maybe she's scared, whatever the case may be. But she told her battle buddy that she has $3 to her name. The battle buddy came and told me today. And I'm like, I know that there are programs, I know there are things, but in the moment right now, I'm thinking, what can I do to help this soldier? I am going to go to the commissary and get that soldier a gift card to buy groceries. It's Friday. I cannot sit in my house and be wondering, is my soldier going to be able to eat this weekend? Until Monday, when stuff open back up and the banks, and we can try to get her a loan, this and that. So I figure at least with a gift card, she can get some bread, some lunch meat, some cereal and milk.
That's being a good senior NCO right there. As a veteran, on Veterans Day, we got to talk about this. People aren't getting paid in the military, in the government. We went through a month and a half of this, of people not getting paid. We got to talk about it. Let's go.
Cup of noodles and be able to eat. But I just wanted to come on here and let people know that you may have people in your formation to the left and to the right of you who are scared to speak up, who don't feel comfortable saying anything, and they're suffering in silence.
That's right. I mean, during the previous shutdowns when I was in the military, we would have to take MREs out to the families. The NCOs, like her, would go out, make sure all the lower enlisted was able to have food and their kids had what they needed. And I can't believe we're actually talking about this. The U.S. military, meanwhile, the politicians, they get paid when they're up there squabbling and they can't get the job done. But meanwhile, the people are actually still out there working, and it's not looking, left or right for handouts. They are putting their nose down and they're not getting paid. Their power bills are affected. It hurts my heart to the core to watch this stuff.
I talked to my apartment complex to see if they would have any type of leniency, since I'm a federal employee that's currently not getting paid and I'm still working. And I said, all I'm asking is to waive the late fees if I can't make full rent on time. And the guy was like, no, we're not legally obligated to do that. I can't do that for you. When are places going to understand that just because the legalities are not there, it's probably the right thing to do to help people? Because when my lease is up, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to put that at the back of my mind. Because when you're in the business of an apartment complex or insurance company or whatever, relationships mean.
There should be a federal law saying, hey, if the government shut down on behalf of the federal government doing the federal government stuff, and it's not the cause of the employee, there should be a statute saying, you know what, you're not allowed to charge them late fees. Just like when you deploy, that these credit card companies and they can't come after the person that's deployed. It should be the same way. Because it's not his fault that politicians want to do what they do.
This is getting ridiculous.
What do you think? Comments down below. I want to know exactly what you think. Like, yes, no, up, down. We got to have some discourse. If you disagree with me, disagree with me. That's what the channel's here for. So we can all learn from each other.
Ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Federal workers not being paid. My husband goes to work for 10 hours a day. And we have nothing in the bank. We had to borrow money from our neighbor to buy groceries because we don't have any money because he's not getting paid. I don't understand why they can't still pay these workers. They already have the money in the budget. This is ridiculous.
They 100% have the money. They're just holding funds from this department or that department. They have the funds. Remember this during voting season. Remember this. They have the funds. They can send money overseas till the cows come home, but they won't pay the federal employees. It's going to be very surprising in the future if people are going to want to work for the federal government. It used to be considered secure, but it's not. They don't even pay the infantrymen. You think they're going to pay the people down the line? That breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to watch this. As a patriot, as somebody that, respects our flag to the T, the politicians are the ones that get the kids. The politicians are the ones that sends the soldiers. The politicians are the ones that create most of these conflicts.
They still get paid. Why are they still paid if they don't do their job? Why are they not required to stay at their job until they finish it? What do they expect people to do? I found out they can't turn off our electric and they can't turn off our water. What happens if they don't end up paying these people? What if they don't pay everybody for their work?
And they're doing that with civilian contractors, okay? And what really is mind-bending for me, they're not going to be responsible for the litigation that happens when a contractor that is dependent upon payment from the federal government can't pay those downrange, those employees down the line, or those other contractors down the line, and they wind up getting sued for it. What about the civil penalties behind all this stuff? Nobody's talking about this. It was like when they didn't talk about, the taxes on real estate when they stopped the mortgage payments, or you didn't have to pay your mortgage payment because, or you didn't have to pay, landlords didn't have to pay their mortgage payments, but still had to pay taxes and maintenance and all that stuff. That's what the civil penalties are on this stuff. Who's going to pay their late fees, their checks that bounce, their civil litigation because of all the problems?
What are we paying taxes for? They're not doing anything that helps Americans. Not a thing. They're not even doing their job. The most basic part of their job, which is passing budgets and bills, and I'm really getting frustrated and tired, and what are we doing? What's the plan? What's the end game?
There's not, because they voted last night that they're going to kick the can till January. And they're going to start all over again. You know why they kicked the can till January? Because it's not a season for travel, and they need to open the airlines back up. Probably because the airlines were ready to buckle, and all those jobs were about to come under fire. And are they going to be responsible for that? No. They're going to start arguing again in January over the same stuff that goes nowhere. Meanwhile, they'll have voted themselves a pay increase in January, rolling over into the next year, just like our politicians are doing here in our town. They are getting bonuses, or they're raising their own salaries. Meanwhile, there are road cones as far as you can see them, and they've been there for years.
Because, even if they open everything up back up tomorrow, they're going to do the same thing in a few months. They continuously use this as a tactic.
Welcome back to day 3 of me crashing out in my car before going into work because I'm a federal employee and I still have to go into work every day and not get paid for it. And the mental toll that this is taking on me and on my coworkers is really unacceptable.
Trying to keep up with the government shutdown, let me give you some even worse news. So I'm a federal employee, which means I'm working without getting paid. I go to work every single day, but I receive zeros all the way down my paycheck. Today was the second day of receiving a zero paycheck. But to add insult to injury, not only did I get a zero paycheck today, myself and everyone who I work with, stateside and overseas, received a debt letter as well. So depending on how long you've worked for them and depending on how high you are up, your debt letter was higher. So now I'm making nothing, and I also apparently owe money.
You know what another one is mind-boggling? Is all the interest on the money they didn't receive, that there's no recourse for that. Like, I would like to see a mass tort class action suit, not a lawyer, I'm just an opinion, class action suit for all the interest not collected on the money that people were owed over the course of the shutdown. And then all the contractors, on behalf of all the contractors. And we're talking like thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. The interest on that for a month, month and a half, 2 months, or by the time it actually hits, it's another month. It could be like 3 months. It's big money. And all the investing opportunities lost in the stock market and in people's houses and the back interest on some of these debts. Big numbers.
So it's day something of this government shutdown. It is currently November 4th. For those of you who don't know, I did share on my page that I am someone who is unemployed and furloughed due to the government shutdown. I am a mom of 4. I am married, but my income does substantially help support my family. So I just want to kind of give some insight to how this affects me financially. So for me personally, I have been with the whatever government since 2008. So this is not my first shutdown. The longest one that I experienced was back in 2018. I think that one was 35 days long. And the way that from that shutdown to this shutdown, what I did when the government shut down this time is that I made sure all of my bills were paid up through the end of October. So now we are at November 4th and my bills are going to start coming due. But what I did is made sure that I have, usually like I'm ordering Costco every 2 weeks, all the things. And of course, a lot of it's unnecessary. My kids need certain snacks. So I have cut back on spending. And I'm just trying to be creative with what food I already have in my pantry, already in my freezer. So yeah, if anything, I feel like once the government does reopen, it has allowed me to kind of be more frugal because I know that I do, a lot of times I'm spending money not thinking twice about it. Not to say
40 million people were affected by this. 40 million people. And I can't put my finger on what they accomplished. Can you comment down below? I want to know your thoughts. How did they get away with it? Every one of them should be voted out of office. Like, we need new something in Congress across the board. They shouldn't be allowed to play politics with us. You want to play it with the enemy? Go for it. But with us, not fair. Whatever it may be. They need to be able to accomplish the mission in the allotted amount of time that we have allowed them to do their jobs. It's not asking too much.
Furloughed federal worker here, and I'm starting to wonder if we're ever going to go back to work. I got some incredibly bone-chilling news yesterday, which I still have not had the creator respond with their sources, that the child care centers that are operated out of federal buildings are to be shut down by December 31st. Now, that news is incredibly upsetting to us because all 3 of our kids were enrolled there, and the intent was for us to put them back there. Since I have to go in 5 days a week, and it's nearly 1 to 2 hour drive each way, it was the most convenient and the most financially sound for us to put them in that childcare. Outside of that, as I've explained in another video, it was actually the best childcare center anywhere near my home, and it is not anywhere near my home. The ladies that have been there for 30 plus years, or they have been in childcare for that long. There has been little to no turnover the entire time I've been working at the FAA, which, if you know anything about childcare centers, is unheard of. The women are incredibly kind and capable, and they're all very experienced at what they do. And I don't want my kids to be watched by anybody other than them. But it sounds like I may not have a choice. Again, this creator did not cite their sources, and I have not found anything except for the cuts that are being made to Head Start, which are also just as upsetting, as well as the scare with the Doge cuts to existing leases. Those 2 things converged could possibly have made this news, but outside of that, I cannot find anything to indicate that that's actually what's going to happen. If that does happen, the truth is my husband and I are going to have to rethink my entire career path. The next 3 years of our life were honestly planned out with me being 5 days a week, 1 to 2 hours away, with all of our kids outside of the oldest, who will be in public school, going to school there. It is the best school. It is the school that makes the most sense for us financially. And if we have to make a decision, or we have to try to find them somewhere to be in the upcoming future, once I have to find another job, we are going to be fucked. That's just it. Financially, for the kids, educationally, and let's be real honest, spiritually. We're going to be spiritually fucked by this whole thing.
Now, as long as I'm out of work, and as long as I can continue to take care of my kids at home by myself, you don't have to put them in childcare. But once our finances get to the soon to be accepted red line, I have to find a job because our bills can't just go unpaid. And when that happens, I guess we're going to have to make some tough decisions.
My goal for these videos is to tell the stories of the people that the media won't tell the stories of. And that we can learn from it and we can evolve and we can not get fooled next time by the politicians and the government and all these things that wind up happening to us when they shut down the government, when they shut down society, when we're staring at a hardship that we have to go and look for baby formula, or we got to start stocking up on something or putting cash away because something might happen and our debit cards don't work, or there's no food, or gas gets super hard to get, and it affects all of us. And I hate to think that we have to think this way. But between the 19, the elections, them trying to take away freedom of speech, they almost got there. And then now we're worried about people getting paid the wages they are rightfully owed by the federal government. And I'm as big as patriot as they come. Love my country. But I got to call a spade a spade.
So this government shutdown is lasting substantially longer than most of us in mortgage expected it to. Well, I will speak for myself and say at least longer than I certainly did. Because of this, a lot of lenders are starting to implement various overlays to their standard guidelines. I will say that where I work, we have very, very minimal overlays. And that said, I am seeing updates daily on different overlays that they're trying to put into place. For those of you who aren't familiar, the term overlays, it just means it's additional guidelines in addition to what is required based on the products such as Fannie, Freddie, FHA, VA, et cetera, et cetera. This is lender imposed restrictions in addition to the published guidelines. The most recent hit us yesterday, where we are now asking for 2 months proposed housing expense in the form of borrower reserves, regardless of whether or not the product requires it.
I knew bankers would fix it to where they hedge themselves in, and that's what they're doing. They are going to start making people have more reserves than they had before. And I bet you they flag federal workers during political season now because of the unstable environment. You can't make this stuff up, man. Like, am I wrong about this? This is wrong. This is crummy. This is affecting everybody. And it's a discriminatory thing. Now, oh, you want to serve your government? Oh, you want to work for the federal government? It's going to be harder to buy a house.
I needed to feed my family. I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I went to the food bank today to get food for them. And I want to show you guys what is given at the food bank, and you let me know if this is acceptable and fair. Okay, I was given a box of mac and cheese that expired in July. A box of spaghetti that expired in June 2024. I was given tomato sauce to go with it that is current, not expired. Breakfast biscuits that expired on the 1st of November. Pepperoni, I was excited, but this expired March 28th, 2024. A little dessert, yum, except for it expired October 17th. Not terrible, but deli meat for my sandwiches, this was sell by October 31st. No way I'm putting my kids at risk with old meat.
This hurts my heart to watch. One, either they're holding the product and they're not giving it away, not giving it away fast enough, or two, that whoever is giving them the food is giving them the last of the batches, the worst, the stuff that's almost borderline gone, and they're probably writing it off, i.e. supermarkets, food stores. I understand. They're giving them what's left that didn't sell. But should we give it out to people ex post facto, after the fact? I see this a couple different ways. I'm glad that they got something versus nothing. But I hate it that we're in one of the richest countries in the world. We're giving people expired food that need help. That's pretty crummy. But also some of those, comment down below, tell me your thoughts. Some of those can still be eaten. Like, a lot of the expired numbers are just a question mark. Like, it's a for thought. I mean, if it's not molded or smells bad or anything like that, as a guy that spent some time with some hardship, I know I can eat it. I wouldn't throw it away. I still don't throw stuff away after expired if it doesn't stink. I've eaten a lot of stuff. Might come back to get me, I don't know. But we shouldn't be giving out expired stuff. Not to mention you could be held liable if somebody got sick. Which that's why these pharmacies throw their stuff away, which I don't agree with that. I think you should give it away, maybe to a food bank. Maybe it's not bad. Like, I didn't even know water has an expiration date. Bottled water. That's wild. I don't understand that one.
Don't worry, I got some chicken, but this also was supposed to be sold by the 1st of November, and it smells like shit. Don't worry, I got one more opportunity. I got some weird looking beef ribeyes that was supposed to be sold by, no idea, but it looks like shit. Don't worry, my kid, my 1-year-old, needs milk bottles. I was given 1 powdered dry milk, but she can't use that because she's dairy intolerant and needs soy milk. Love a good salad. November 1st, this still looks okay. And for my kids' breakfast, I was given croissants that expired on the 23rd. So the only non-expired things that I was given were this can of black beans and this tomato sauce. So for everyone that's out there saying federal workers go to the food bank, have a little bit more respect, and I hope that this informs you that it in fact is.
I don't believe that they should have to go to the food bank. I believe there should be a support structure. And I get that's what a food bank is, but I shouldn't have to tell my soldiers, my young soldiers, go to the food bank. No, I think, get on my soapbox here, that's when the unit opens up their dining facility to the families, okay? And I know not everybody's in the military, but I'm gonna get on the soapbox for the military and the on-post DOD or the on-post DOW. They should open up the doggone dining facilities on post and take care of the families. Like, I remember that you could take a battalion's mess sergeant, chief, whatever you want to call them, and they could cook enough food for a brigade. And we're worried about families, soldiers, airmen not getting food when they can do it themselves. Why? And I don't know that's not happening on a lot of posts. Post commanders, you should doggone open the dining facility for those young soldiers. And I know most of the young soldiers on post are getting at least 3 meals a day. But what about their family? Okay, I know a lot of them live off post. Sometimes their dining rights get changed around. The military should take care of the military, and there should be no funding issue. Military should get paid first. That's my thoughts. What do you think down below?
I don't think it's going to reopen. I think we are seeing the dissolvification. You know what I mean? I know that's not a word. Our government is currently dissolving in front of our eyes. People are not getting paid. People are losing their government jobs. There's no incentive for him to open, for anyone on the red side to open the government right now. There's really no incentive. So I don't think they're going to do it. I would not be surprised if we go until Thanksgiving and we still don't have a government open, which means traveling for the holidays, TSA. Literally, I would not be surprised if just all flights are canceled and we are just grounded, like back in the COVID days. Like, that's where this is heading. This is historic, unprecedented times, and there is no sign whatsoever of any Republican challenging him or, like, they're not going back to their constituents right now. They're not having town halls. Like, our government is dissolving. Right.
I think what's dissolving is people's patience for the government and people's patience for politicians doing this in front of our face. Years ago, we couldn't see it happening. But now with social media and platforms that don't edit out everything and restrict people from commenting, we're seeing them do it in front of our face. We're seeing them play politics. And it used to be political theater, right? But now we see the political theater and we're able to call it out. And we're able to organize. And that's what they don't like. And that's the reason why they did come to the table the other night. Because they see what's about to happen. And we see, and they're able to poll and know that we're mad. And there's no way these guys should stay in office. We see their theater. It's just my opinion. I don't like to be political, but it's like at some point we got to start calling it out on both sides of the aisle. I want to know your thoughts, because I want families to be able to feed themselves, feed their families. I want people to be able to get paid for their work. And I don't want society to crumble when the number one employer, one of the biggest employers in the United States, gets away with this. No matter who's at fault. They had a time period to come up with a course of action, and they didn't do it. And now they should be held accountable by voters. But that's all I got, everybody. Don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.